Yeah.
There you go.
Say it slower, Dennis. It's more effective.
Be careful. I bet I'll have to show up with donuts when I
cinnamon.
get back to my
He
office.
comes out everywhere donuts. Yum. Okay. All right. Well, I want to try this butterscotch cream or cinnamon pie day. Okay. This is Google.com day. You use Google a lot.
Every day.
Every day.
I mean, you can almost do, those games that people have.
Yes.
When they say certain things. So
Yeah.
you could do one around people that I'm around.
Well, you know how.
Google it.
Okay, and you guys.
Let's Google it.
And you guys are around people that just throw things out, and you're like, "Really? Is that really true?" And then you have to Google it, right?
Yeah. Oh yes.
We have to do a fact check real quick. That's what Google helps me out a lot. I promise that is a word. All right, Greenpeace Day. Let's see, International Dot Day, Polka Dot Day. Okay.
You realize that.
Is there any polka dot ties? Joe?
I have one.
There you go.
I think there might be one in my closet, but you know me very well. You don't see ties on very often.
Not very often. You're more the Don Johnson list.
Well, I said years ago, I told my administrators that I wore a tie every day. I mean, I'm going back 13, 14 years ago. And I didn't have a tie. He did. He was trying. I said, look, just take your tie off and leave. And it kind of stuck with me. So, special occasions, I try on special occasions.
When the wife says you must wear a tie, dear. Right on.
You know my wife.
I know. I am a wife. A wife, yeah.
There's no truth to the fact she lays my clothes out every morning.
I love that. What a good woman. What a good woman. What a good woman. Making sure it matches.
That's true.
Let's see here. This is also Make a Hat Day. I made one of my first derby hats. I took a hat and started adding stuff to it, and the more you add, of course, to a derby hat, the better it is.
Yeah. Brad, with our hairstyles, we probably ought to get into that.
Make a hat.
We probably should. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, that would probably come in handy for me.
This is also National Caregivers Day. Hats off to all the caregivers out there. A lot of times they go unnoticed, and what they do, hats off to all of them. National Cheese Toast Day. You can do that. Cheese. I don't do it, but I could do it. Just cheese on toast.
Oh, I was going to something. I thought you meant like a cheesy toast, like you do at a wedding reception. I totally
wait, now that's
wrong.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
mine on that. A cheesy toast. I love that.
Well, probably because that's what mine are. Cheesy.
So, can you do a cheesy toast? So, if we ever have an event,
Absolutely.
Dennis is going to come do my cheesy toast.
Absolutely.
I know. I'm going to have to write that down.
This Saturday, we're having beer on the bricks, okay, for Tri Kappa. Then you'll have to come give us a cheesy toast, okay?
Can I say it on the air? I mean, it is after 8, before 3:30.
5 o'clock somewhere. Okay. National Cheesy Toast. But I think they were meaning Dennis. You can see what kind of week you've had.
Oh my
God. But I think what they're meaning is toast with cheese on the photo. So, okay. National Double Cheeseburger Day. Oh, have mercy. A double cheeseburger.
I think I just decided what our staff, we eat a lot in the lunch together in my office. So I think today we need to do cheeseburgers.
Oh,
did you say double cheeseburger?
Double cheeseburger.
Double
Double
day.
cheeseburger. Oh, man. I've not really met one I didn't like.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, they get after me for never choosing. So today I'm choosing double cheeseburgers.
And you've got another one too. Hold on. Okay.
And then you can do a cheesy toast.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Have mercy. Yeah.
you can have it all together. All he's got to do is make a homemade hat before he goes to the lab.
Exactly. With your cheesy toast. Yeah. That's great. National Felt Hat Day. I got felt hats.
I got one.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I actually have a felt fedora.
I like that. There you go. Did you buy that for 2020? Remember how there were supposed to be so many cool parties held in 2020 that didn't happen? Remember, everybody was going to do like 20 parties.
Yeah. No, for Halloween last year.
Oh, okay.
It looked really good with the mask, though.
I have one for every day when it's raining or what.
Well, my grandpa used to
Oh.
always tell me that, like he wore a hat to church and then like, or anywhere when it was raining, he had different ones and everything. And he used to talk about that. Well, then Pop always started getting these hats, right? So um, I use a baseball cap. But my brother in Florida, who's listening, he streams, so that's great.
Hi, Brian.
But he has all kinds of, I call it tap ball just because
He wears the hat.
he
Oh,
wears
but
the
I love the
hats,
hats.
and
I
it's
think
awesome.
that, yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
just awesome.
Yeah.
In Florida, he's just like, I look like a tourist, but it's awesome. That's great. Man, it's great because you never know you're going to get sprinkles or whatever.
Exactly.
Plus sun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
So
love that.
I probably need to.
That's your game on hats. Yeah, hats are good.
Let's get some felt, make some felt hats.
There you go. Exactly. This
Decorate
is
them up.
also National Linguine Day. You can have cheeseburger and linguine. Linguine, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. National Online Learning. We're doing that. National School Backpack Awareness Day. And I think the awareness of how much the kids put in their backpack. One of my daughters, I'm not going to call their names, her backpack was she had so much in her backpack. I promise you, when you put it on, you like almost fell over. It just was it was that heavy of a backpack.
Well, and I go through that and I'm like, you need less than half of this stuff.
Yes.
What do you?
I know. Just put it in the backpack.
Gotta be prepared.
Got it.
Yeah. And prepared is good, but every once in a while when you open up that backpack and say, where's the other shoe? I mean, why are you rolling around with one shoe?
That's.
I mean,
well, he's gonna hop.
You've got two on,
yeah.
but the extra is
the
like
one.
in case one.
Well, I was gonna say it's like a flat tire.
Foot?
It's like a flat tire.
What if it's the wrong foot?
I think he would still put it on. I think he would still. I think he'd make it work.
Probably.
I think so. National Thank You Day. I have so many cards that I bought that I need to send out. I'm so bad at this, guys. I really, and I'm saying this, I'm confessing here that I need to send out to people that I've not done.
Is it the card thank you day or the verbal thank you?
Anyway.
I think every day should be thank you day.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I got some thank you cards.
Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah. This is also someday. Someday I'll do that. So bad. All right, get out and enjoy for sure. All right, let's jump right in and let's see what we got going on at Eastern School Corporation. Right now, we know we're doing a different kind of learning now.
Absolutely.
And Dennis Stockdale, our superintendent at East Washington School Corporation, let us know what's happening over there.
Well, a lot. I mean, it's been an interesting 2 years, to say the least. Moving up to 2 years. And, it was interesting. We've had that discussion that 2 years ago, you thought e-learning on inclement weather, it was the thing, you could do it.
Yeah.
And now to see where that's evolved, that we can on the fly can become teachers and become the rock stars. Their inner rock star comes out.
That's great.
And to see what they've done and to take a look and listen to parents. And we've really tried to do that. And we've had some that they need to log on at 8 o'clock in that first period class, in the second period, third period. Well, that's all fine and dandy. But when you talk to the parents, well, wait a minute, we don't have the bandwidth to be able to run. If they've got kids in each building.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of places are sitting at the same table, so you get different Zooms. So we've really tried to kind of redesign that. And we've got some tremendous talent at Eastern. And they have done a lot of redesigning to prepare kids. But I'm going to tell you, it's not as good as being right there in front of the kid, in front of the teacher.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. Well, I think first of all, I always give you guys compliments because with the e-learning, when it first came about, you guys were rock stars. You were really on top of that. So hats off to your technology and everybody that was involved in that. So that was a good blazing of the trail. Of course, e-learning and virtual are different. But and virtual is what we've learned and know. But I always think it's so important to realize and to say, it's not the ideal situation, but it's a way of doing something. Making sure that we have, an education, but also the teachers. This is a lot of extra on the teachers, and I just want to keep stressing that every time I can.
Well, yeah, and that's the hard part for me when I sit there and. what we call the keyboard warriors on Facebook. They have no clue
I know.
what our teachers are doing. They have no clue what they're going through.
Right.
They're not seeing that teacher that has a Zoom open at 9 o'clock at night because that's when the parent can be there or the student can be home with their parent
Right.
because the
Right.
parents have, they don't see that. And that's been the frustrating part is, our teachers are not, this isn't vacation time
No,
for them
not
at
at
all.
all.
They'd much rather be in.
Right.
But yet they take a beating. But
Yeah.
hats off to every teacher in our county, in our state, our country right now.
Yeah.
They're doing yeoman's work. The thing about it is, and I think the lost part of it, and what we're losing sight of, is we need to up not only the accountability, but the expectations to students that you've got to, when a parent says, especially I'm talking more upper middle school to high school. I mean elementary, but when your parents says, well, it's not working because they're not doing it. Well, you know what? Teach them that expectation that you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because this is the new norm. I mean, companies now, you're working remotely.
Absolutely.
And this is it.
Yeah.
So take this opportunity. I think we're missing an opportunity. Take this opportunity to say, look, you're off. Get the work done and hold them accountable, not out on, it's not the teacher's fault.
Right.
Our teachers, show me a teacher that's not not stepping up and getting them doing the things to try to reach these students. Then I'll deal with that.
Yeah. Right.
I can't find them. But if there are, I'll deal with them.
Yeah.
So help us. And that's the part that's missing right now is such a divide. It's so polarized. That what happened to compromise and communication?
Yeah. And communication is very important.
I think you say those keyboard warriors. It is so easy, and there's times that I work for a company that we have those keyboard warriors every once in a while that come up with things. But when you think about it, my thought process with anybody, I have family members who are in education. I have good friends that are in education, and it's like you got to sometimes pause because those educators are there because that interaction is important to them. That being there and seeing that, for lack of a better way to describe it, the light bulb going off, and then seeing that multiple kids that think they only have this potential and you helping bring out and more potential, and they miss that. And so I would tell any of the keyboard warriors, what's your job? So let's take your job and make you have to be as successful, but change 90% of how you have to do your job.
Right.
And that sometimes you got, teachers and anybody in education, I think they get a bad rap, and I think to me they're heroes because the things that they do every single day, and it's easy to second guess and all that, but and you guys still just keep plowing forward, and you just take that, and people need to just be a little kinder.
Well, they need to understand, and I don't know, years ago, and you give a but. The teacher now, they don't work, and I'll debate this with anybody. They don't work just 184 days a year, and they don't work just from 7:30 to 3:30. Heck no, they're working nights, summers. We offer, we don't have to incentivize to offer opportunities and training. They want it. I have one person now, and she is wonderful. She is a tremendous rock star who is developing PD on the fly for our teachers that want it, whatever they need it in. Last summer, we had 75%, 80% of our teachers do a summer-long PD program, and they gave their son. They were not paid for those days. They're paid for 184 days. They're not paid, but they gave up their time. So all this.
What is it? What is that? I'm sorry. What did they do? What's it?
What they did, professional development. So
Okay.
what they did is we looked at, after last year, looked at everything we thought went wrong and said, okay, these are the things our teachers need. So we have an integration specialist, Stephanie Richardson, and she took and built PD around all the things the teachers have said. Okay, these are the things that I'm struggling. Put that together, and then the teachers went in. It's very interactive, and she developed it. And I mean, when you have talent like that, developing an online program using Google Classroom, using all the same tools that our students use, our teachers are using the summer to learn and to get better for this year. And that's why we think we're better.
Wow, Dennis, that's
amazing.
yeah.
But if you got to, but that's just listening to seeing what the gaps are, but also listen to your staff. This day is, and so when people, it really irks me when people get on and they talk about, well, they just want a holiday today or they want a 2-week vacation. No, it's not a vacation when kids aren't in school for us at all,
Right,
not
exactly.
for our teachers.
Yeah, and I think it's good as a superintendent and leader to go to bat for your people. You know what I mean? To say, hey, this is the way it really is. You know what I mean? And I like your passion, and I think they probably appreciate that too, because that you are publicly trying to say, look, this is not easy, and they're not. They're totally working overtime more than they ever signed up for.
If you're not in it for kids, I guarantee you don't work in East Washington, because that doesn't exist anymore. You can tell when you walk in those staff members and we talk to them, that's about kids. They understand that it's not about them. It's about kids. And the change that I've seen over the last 6 years now in staff members, and they were not driven hard there. There was no ultimatums. They just accepted a cultural change and thought, oh wow, if we really focus on the teacher or on the student and really then so what we need is community and parents and things like that on the outside to also focus on that student and become our partner more than our critic. We don't need Monday morning quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. It's true.
Right.
No, it's
we
true.
need to all work together. Schools need to work together.
Absolutely.
I pick up the phone. I'll call Kim Thurston. I'll call Brendan. We text constantly where things are going on doing, and that's okay to do. Johnny Budd now is the superintendent at Board in Interville. We're right neighbors. We're talking all the time. Mark Slade and Scott too. We were texting the night before last because I want to know how your mask mandate's going in this and how did these things happen. And so we all communicate because we're all trying to do what's best for that kid.
Right.
And that was something that we had our school board Monday, and that's what I brought up. I mean, every school is battling. I mean, there's not anybody. These issues, are not unique to one school. I mean, so we need to realize that everybody's trying to do this, and figure it out. We've not had anything like this.
And it's not going to be popular when I sit here and say to you right now that we're going to be moving in the direction of a temporary mask requirement. We've got to do something. I'll just be honest. I mean, it can be on. I mean, we talk about it because it's inevitable. The governor came out and solidified it in his order a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. You're going to do this, and so when we look at what we're doing now, we looked at our numbers. We didn't react quickly because our numbers didn't tell us that. Our numbers weren't telling us that, and sometimes last year where we got in trouble was we had to take a lot of time off of school because they were looking at numbers as a whole, and then we'd have to react. We wanted to look at locally East Washington data in terms of COVID cases and quarantines and that.
Right.
And it wasn't there quite yet. It went faster. I think it hit West Washington quicker, and then it hit Salem right before it hit, right before we started. And this last week, after coming out of a fall or Labor Day, all of a sudden our cases, you could see a doubling, and you could see quarantining. And when we looked at what we were doing and applied it to exactly that order, it's like the only option we have. It's not really open for discussion right now.
Absolutely.
What we need to do is we need to temporarily, and starting Monday, we're going to temporarily. When I say temporary, the reason I say that, we're going to temporarily have a mask requirement because it's not a full-on voted mandate for infamy or for the rest of the year. But we're going to do it for the next to our October 28th board meeting. Give some time, and our board's going to reevaluate, listen, take comments and concerns, and listen, see, did this work? And then at that time, the board will decide how long to kind of take that same page with our governor looks at orders, short time, so that we don't have something out there long term we don't need it. And that information is going to start going out to the parents this afternoon, tomorrow, to get ready for it. That's not going to be popular. I know that. We had a meeting. We had some people that have differing opinions, but what we need to do is we got to get off this polarization, and we got to say we're going to compromise. And you know what? It's going to be a little inconvenient. Let's try it, and let's do what's best for that child. Whether and let's come together. And again, I see that being the biggest issue right now is the polarization is causing us to push back a little bit on educating kids, and that's not right. at all. And we want to keep them in school.
Right.
They need to be there.
Right,
Those elementary kids need to be there.
Right.
Well, and the thing that, and the children do not seem to mind the mask.
Right.
They seem to be doing okay with it. And I think that the thing is, it's not a matter of discussion of whether you feel like a mask or you don't feel like a mask. That's not that's not on the board. That's not the discussion.
Right.
The discussion is, if we go by the rules and we go by, and which, as a school corporation, you have to go by the rules. I mean, everybody's got rules we have to go by. And therefore, if you go by the rules, this is what needs to be done. And this is how to not have all that, even though they might not have COVID or the new variant, but they might have to quarantine, if they don't have the mask on. And so therefore, that was what Salem had so many people that were not necessarily, I mean, there were several that did have COVID, but there were several that just needed to quarantine.
Yeah.
And that was what one guy, he was like, I can't keep coming back to school because I keep having to quarantine. And he never did get the actual COVID,
Yeah.
but he couldn't get back to school because of quarantining. If you do it right and you do it by the guidelines. So this mask will help that.
And we have to look too, and I try to explain as a superintendent, it's my responsibility to be not, we have to be fiscally responsible, but we also have to be responsible for the legal process. A board member swears to uphold the Constitution, and when you take your oath, I'm duty to follow Indiana code. And if you look at the code on pandemic,
Absolutely.
They're determined that we have it, so you're held harmless. Well, we're held harmless as long as we don't have gross neglect or gross negligence.
There you go.
And that's the part. What's gross? What's that term?
Yeah.
Somebody down the road, there's going to be a court case or two.
Mhm.
It's going to, but I don't want to be the one.
No.
So I want, and I don't want to be the one that looks if we have an issue, and heaven forbid some issue down the road, that I look at the fact that we were gross negligence in our handling of this. So I'd rather be, and I learned a long time ago, Dr. Leahy was my superintendent when I was in high school, and then when I first started teaching at Southwestern. And I remember he drove something to me one time. He said, you know what? If we err on the side of safety for kids, we're never going to go wrong, no matter what.
Mhm.
So I'd rather err on the side of safety
agree.
and being ridiculed on that
Yeah.
than not do enough.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly. And and that's something, when we lay our head down on the pillow at night, I mean, that's what we're there for, and that's what you guys do. And if you have information and and your numbers were up and and you have to kind of you got to stop and let everybody kind of get over it and then go back. And that's where I think it's such a blessing that we have virtual, and we have that. We do have it, years ago, there wouldn't have been that, we wouldn't have had anything.
And I really believe, sorry,
No, you're fine.
but I really believe that, if we just put the mask on during the day, or all the time, and we should be wearing the mask, I get all that. But if they're in school, when we have the mask on, we're not quarantining kids. If we don't quarantine kids, we're not out virtual, they're in class. And I mean, that to me is a no-brainer. That should supersede any criticism because it's going to keep them in school. If you look at what's different between last year and this year right now, different. All of our kids are masked, and we're masked every day. And this year, every school, we did not have that governor's mandate like we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think the mandate shifted down to the local level, and you handle it locally.
Yeah. But I think all too often, and I discuss this a lot with coworkers and personal friends. The polarization has gotten to where instead of someone saying, "You guys are being very transparent. It's not just, hey, mask forever, and because I said so, it's going to be. This is what we're going to look at. We're going to evaluate. This is why we're doing it." So when you have all that information, then when someone, as soon as they hear mask, and they start their, I shouldn't have to, my kids shouldn't have to, whatever, I think they instantly jump to what's personal about them. And you've got to realize that, yes, as a parent, they're thinking about their kid, but you got to think about other kids that are in that school system with you. And you've got to, at times in life, you've just got to trust that you guys, and your school system and other school systems are 100% about, we just want to do what we can to get the kids back in school and to kind of at the same time stop this stuff. And you don't want to have to quarantine, and you want to, you know, be able to peel the layers of the onion, so to speak, to get to less that. And sometimes people, even, I mean, I understand pandemic fatigue, but at the same time, people just got to take a breath.
Right.
And if you think you can do a better job educating and doing all this, go to school.
Go to school,
become a teacher, become a superintendent,
Yeah.
do all that stuff.
Right?
And I don't mean that. I don't mean that
no.
callously, you know.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
got
saying,
a new plan or new idea, or share it.
yes,
You know.
Because I mean, and it's not one size fits all. You know,
Right.
it's tough, but at the same time, my kid needs to be in school, but then you're complaining about things that we're doing to try to keep our kids in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's just people need to quit making it about them, and trust that it's about the kids.
And you know, I hate to say this, and I mean, if what is happening in any of your schools, you know, check out your options. I mean, instead of making it so difficult for others, check out your options and make that decision as a parent. Understand that, respect it. But you know, like I said, we had a meeting like everybody else. We had an opportunity for comments, and we listened to those, and we've heard that. But what people don't realize, the amount of emails that I have on the other side, and the phone calls I have, you know, demanding why aren't we in mask. I have a poor a student that, and again, we need to react to that order. When the governor was very specific in that order that he put out there, we have to react to that. We had a student who wore a mask every day who was quarantined twice because, you know, but they did what they needed to do. But now they understand, well, wait a minute, because it doesn't matter if you're wearing a mask. If not everyone's wearing a mask, you have to quarantine. Well, I've worn my mask since day one, and now I'm quarantining for the second time. Well, if we follow the order the way we're supposed to follow it, that's why we have laws that we have order, then that child wouldn't have quarantined, it would be in class. And so that's happened regularly in all of our schools. And we took a pretty tough approach following Salem and I believe West Washington, but I know Salem canceled athletics for that period of time to get a hold of it. We canceled. You know, we lost 2 football games because of it. We've lost cross country matches. We've lost volleyball. Because what's important right now is get a hold of this, get the mask on, and let's return back to as normal as we can be.
Right, absolutely. I think and that's just what had to be done, you know, and communicating. And I think it is important to have real good communication. I know you do it, and I'm saying this. I'm not schooling. I'm saying I know you do, and it's important, the relationship with the parents, and to talk with the parents and let them, you know, and sure, you know, the mask, to wear a mask, not wear a mask, that is something that's, you know, can be up for discussion with everyone. Everybody's got different thoughts. Everybody's got different views. We get that. But as a school corporation, we have to do what we're directed to do in what direction. And we also have to be, like you said, not reckless. We have to make sure that our students and our staff and our faculty, from the janitors to the bus drivers to the support staff to everyone, is being safe and is in a safe environment. And you know, when you drop off Betty Lou at the door as a parent, you want that school corporation doing everything possible to make sure Betty Lou is safe.
Yeah.
And I would ask parents in every community and every school parent to try this. I like to challenge them for the next 6 months, for the rest of the school year. Don't go to the keyboard first. Pick up the phone first.
Oh, absolutely.
Call the building principal. Talk through it, because some of the perception or the stories that get out on to become their own, and we have to chase those stories down because they're not true, and now we got all this stuff, could have been solved with just a phone call to the principal. Our principals will talk to you. Call them. Our teachers, you know, call your teacher, call me, call whatever. We have an open line of communication, because we would much rather talk to you on a phone or come in for a meeting than have to look at Facebook and think, how am I going to track that or chase that down, because it's not true. And then you get all these people commenting that think it is true, or whatever that
Right,
is. It's like,
right.
man, get the facts. Then, hey,
Yeah.
if you got the facts and you want to go out there and help us on social media, have at it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
get the truth first.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree, 100%. And Bradley knows that with Walmart. I mean, there's all kinds of, remember, well, let's go back, you know, first of all, you know, like when online grocery came on, oh, they're going to, you know, they're not going to have any workers there. They're going to, you know, cut back on their work. Remember all that?
Oh,
You were hiring
yes.
more people.
Yes.
Just quite the
Yes.
opposite. They were hiring more people. And, you know, I mean, or anytime, or you know, anytime there's anything like that, you know, I mean, there'll be something on social media that's not true at all, you know, and you try to, you know, do the mythbusters. We do the fact or crap or whatever, trying to get everybody myth bust. But I do believe 100%. I think that's a very good thing to ask anybody. And I think in any situation, before you hit that keyboard, before you go on that social media, before you do say words, check your facts, check the person, go to the source, find out.
And I think a lot of times the ones that is their first response is to hit the keyboard. I think a lot of times they don't have well, there's a word I want to use, but they don't have the strength to go to the source and find out before they start. And I think it's a little bit of, they kind of like that notoriety, they kind of like that social media fame a little bit, you know, and they kind of enjoy that. And that's just my view, and I could be totally wrong, but you know, that's the thing is across everything nowadays, people are so quick to start blasting stuff out there instead of just taking 5 minutes, you know. And
we need some education influencers.
There
I'm just learning about that here on TV. It's like, what's an influencer?
Yeah, just you mean
it's just somebody that can, you know, whatever people follow. Wow. And you get paid for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress.
Yeah, and they get to go to good parties too, apparently, the influencers too, you know.
So education influencers. Maybe I'll be that one here.
Well, I do, you know, I respect, you know, East Washington School Corporation. You're very respectful. You've got, like you said, I 100% agree. And behind your back, people in the community even talk about your school corporation, how wonderful it is, and the great staff you have, and the good teams you have there, because those good pillars are what makes a good school, and you have that, Dennis. But so we kind of wanted to touch on that. But anything else going on? So you're going to come back on the 20. We're
going to come back. Our elementary's in.
The elementary's in.
At our high school, middle school, come back the 21st, Tuesday.
Okay, that's what I thought, the 21st. Yeah.
Yes. But we got something that's going on.
Okay.
I got to announce. I promised my pumpkin and popcorn people that I would this morning make sure, and I was hoping that I have. Okay. But we have a U-Pick night coming up.
Oh.
And this is great. I'm on radio. I'm going to sound very smart because I'm texting to get the times because I don't see them here on my email. But
Dennis, we can have dead air. You got to keep talking. Yeah.
Okay. But our pumpkins, we for some reason, well, I know. One of them, I'll leave names out of this because we have a group of a couple community members and a couple retirees that are they own that, and it's awesome. And so they got one little bag of pumpkin seeds for large pumpkins. Okay. So last night we had an executive session. So what we had to do before the executive session is move one of the large pumpkins into the elementary because they're going to guess. Kids are going to guess the weight for that, and then they're going to get a Scholastic card or whatever, not a card, but a Scholastic coupon or whatever for free books at our school Scholastic fair if they correct their word. But these things are
so you're growing big pumpkins?
Oh, they're big. And so last night I told a couple of, the people that are on the pumpkin committee, we got to get
I would love to be on that. I'm a little jealous. Brad, are we jealous that we're not?
I'm good. I would tell you, absolutely. She is. Hey, sign me up for anything. Anything you guys want me to volunteer for down there, I will.
Me too.
But she is a pumpkin expert.
I am.
I have seen her driving down to the bottom.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Bradley.
There, so,
Yes, you keep an eye on me at all
she
times.
could probably. I bet she could guess how much it weighs.
I do feel, and I do feel. I feel like there's some kind of a degree behind my name with the pumpkins. Okay, and so not only do I love pumpkin spice and all the pumpkin, but I do want to say, years ago, my dad, we had Fodder Festival, and we get these huge pumpkins, Dennis, huge. I mean, just beyond like what you're talking about. And there was a farmer, and he would inject buttermilk into the vines, and that was what he said would make these huge pumpkins that we would get. And so his mouth's open. I'm being honest. I see. So okay, that's my.
I was waiting for the punchline.
Okay. This is my. I guess this is my resume to become a part of the pumpkin committee.
Well,
okay?
I will
because I have some good information.
I don't know anybody that injected buttermilk into their body.
No.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't know. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
My mom swear by it for 85 years that it helped to have a good healthy gut, and
you did buttermilk.
Yeah. So there you go.
There's all kinds of we use
I
buttermilk.
may have something for you. Late breaking news.
Okay, let's hear it.
This Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the RC Laser Building at the corner of Highway 60 and Grove Street in Beacon. There are pumpkins there that people can purchase, all different sizes. They've got the trailers. They're going to roll them in there. So that's this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It was interesting because I saw pictures this weekend of some students and staff and family and all that. It was like a family affair picking pumpkins, and I think they had it from what I hear accounts of the story from people that are there. Again, I'll leave them nameless. They had a lot of fun picking those pumpkins, but I would challenge them to go bigger next year. And the reason I say that is I spent 7 years at South Ripley in Versailles, Indiana, at that school corporation, 5 as assistant superintendent. And every fall we had the pumpkin festival, and the pumpkins the farmers would bring in there. So I want to see one of those because when I retire, I'd love to take one of our pumpkins up there to the pumpkin festival, enter it, and win that darn thing.
And say, look where we're at. Look where we are at. Yeah, look what we've done. Well, let's do. Okay, I'll buy the buttermilk. Let's inject those veins or whatever they are. It's not the veins, it's the vines.
Teresa, Dottie, and Christine, if you're listening,
let's get some buttermilk and let's see what we got.
We're going to take and we're going to have a controlled field. We're going to have a section that we're going to call
the buttermilk pumpkin.
The buttermilk pumpkin. And if it's great. If it flops, it's on Becky White.
There you go. That's right. I'm either going to do this or kick. Okay.
Buttermilk pumpkin.
Hey, buttermilk pumpkins. That's yes.
So Saturday.
Would Walmart? Yeah, this Saturday. Would Walmart donate the buttermilk?
We would absolutely. I'm in for that. I'm totally in for that. So that's this Saturday. So people can buy all different sizes, and it benefits East Washington, right?
Yes. Where does the money go, Dennis?
It goes back into grants and for our teachers and students, and they use that back into the education.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out and support that. That is amazing.
So do they weigh the pumpkins?
They weighed this pumpkin.
I want to know.
They weighed this
I'm not
pumpkin.
done with this. I want to know.
I can tell you it took Greg Hopkins and Christina McGinnis, our board president, and Darren Ferris, our high school principal, and then I'm kind of on the DL a little bit, but I kind of helped steer it. It took that many people to get it on the cart to take it into the elementary. So I know, I can tell you the weight of it, heavy.
So our question for Darren Ferris is, and we mean this, was he more of a hindrance or?
Yeah, we want to know. Yeah, come on, give us a scoop. Spill the tea on that.
I tell you, out of the group, who do you think worked the hardest out of that group? Christina and
how did I know?
Greg.
Oh, and Greg. Oh,
okay. So that answers the question.
So that tells you that.
Okay.
And then you had somebody with a good excuse that just come off of a long neck surgery that kind of steered, and then you had somebody at the end of the pumpkin just to make sure it didn't slide off as Greg is holding the pumpkin on the thing. But because that little extra help by Mr. Ferris, it did not shift.
See, there you go.
It would have been a vision to watch this.
And I hope everybody out there, they don't put that we were talking bad about it. Because we're joking and
we just want to know.
No, I'm serious.
Well, if anybody ever wants to move, you want to know who's going to be the the one to help.
If you want somebody to work,
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly. There you go.
That guy, and I'm telling you what he's dealing with right now in
110%.
transportation and bus drivers and lack
He
of bus
couldn't be any more
drivers.
devoted. I mean, he is completely.
Yesterday morning with our elementary, because we were down drivers and we just have our elementary going, he drove a bus for 2 hours yesterday morning. He ran, I think he ran 3 different people's routes for him in the morning.
That does not surprise me at all.
Not at all.
You're not shocking me at all. I mean, with that man.
Because like what when I think about trying to find that perfect person that you want to hire and be loyal to you, I mean, he wrote the book on that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like
that's exactly right. Yeah. Good role model.
You could not find somebody that is more devoted and cares about the kids and everybody down in East Washington, and it's just amazing. And he does it smiling, doesn't complain.
And you're never going to get him in Salem because he is East Washington true and true. So that's why I can talk good about him, because you're not. There's nothing you can do to get it.
I know. I'd be wasting my breath on that one. I know.
Absolutely.
Now,
but that's okay.
So funny. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, now, where did he go to school?
He graduated from Eastern High School, but he did go to school though in his younger years at Salem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was my. So we started the.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We started the man. Yeah. Yes, we got to take some credit on that. Okay.
Absolutely, and that's the ones that you do try to recruit them, but it's a testament to what's going on in East Washington that you have folks that just care that much.
Absolutely, and that's definitely.
And he's not the only one.
There's so many. Well, I am so happy, Dennis, to come in and let everyone know. And I think the takeaway for sure on this is please, everyone, please be kind. We've talked a lot about that, and please be understanding. And if you have any questions, please contact the school. Don't just take it on. Find out the facts. And I do want to say in football, your team, they've really upped their game. I mean, I know right now is, hard, they're not playing, but they've really been very, very impressive.
Yeah, and I tell you what,
and I love to see that.
The job Luke does.
Yes, Luke is fantastic.
Phenomenal. And then what they're doing with our elementary program this year, I think Salem and East Washington made some changes in youth football, which has done nothing but have been tremendous. I think we see more excitement, and we're seeing numbers up because of the way that transition's going. So
they're doing really good on that, and the other sports too. I just know that that's something that we have on here.
The only thing that bothers me is the band lost their season last year, and then they've lost a couple of contests this year because of it. And because Matt Lindley, when you look at what the Lindleys do with our music department,
absolutely.
But coming up, we do have a musical for our middle school coming up.
So excited!
So that'll be released. There'll be some more information coming out about that. So I need to get maybe our next guest needs to be Veronica.
Would love that. Please bring her.
Maybe we'll make that happen on our next Wednesday for her to come and talk about what she's done with our theater program. Wow!
I went to Shrek, and there's if the night, I can't remember which night I went, but the night that I went, if anybody taped it and heard this obnoxious laugh, I mean this crazy obnoxious laugh, my family was trying to put me down, in the seat. They were trying to push me down because I laughed. I couldn't stop laughing so hard. It was so adorable, and everybody was so good, and they do such a great job with those students, and the children are just. They're amazing, and of course we're huge Shrek fans, and my girls were actually trying to hide me because I couldn't stop laughing, and and it was and that obnoxious laugh is me.
But that's the ultimate compliment, to go to something like that's a comedy and someone just laugh hysterically.
I couldn't stop.
That's what they want.
And I couldn't stop. So that was me, and that was very loud, and because we were right there. Front row, and it was so I love that. So do you know what the play's going to be?
He's not going to tell.
I know.
I'm gonna let Veronica
Okay.
make that announcement.
All right. Okay. All right.
It rhymes with.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you so
What's
bad.
weird?
Well, I'm
weird.
trying to think of what
Okay.
it rhymes with, and I'm not sure.
I want to know the. I want to know the weight of the pumpkin. I want to know. I'm calling you today, Dennis Stockdale. I want to know the weight of the pumpkin. I want to know what musical. I want to know these information. Okay. No, it'll be wonderful. Whatever it is, for sure. I do need to give a little bit of announcements. This is Wednesday, Friday. We'll have Friday night on the square.
Absolutely.
Exciting time for our community, and everybody come out. We've got a beautiful county square, and we want everybody to come out and enjoy that. Saturday, of course, Old Settlers Days kicks off Saturday. And have you been to our Old Settlers Days, Dennis? Okay, it'll be this Saturday morning, kicking off events at 10 a.m. There'll be music, there'll be vendors, and then of course
Apple
Saturday. Oh yeah, and
corn.
well, I don't
Are
know
they
if they're
not
going to have
doing
the
that
parched corn. They're going to have apple cider, but I don't know for sure on the parched corn. I know. We're a little bit. I don't know. I have to find out for sure on that.
Yeah.
Then Saturday night we have Beer on the Bricks, and that is put on by my Tri Kappa and our sisters. We take all of the proceeds and give 100% back to our community. So it's a good thing, and it's for the whole county. So Beer on the Bricks. It's a fun time. And then on Sunday, back open with the Old Settlers Days at 10 a.m. And there'll be, I think the church service is at 8 a.m. We'll have a church service. So a lot of activities, a lot going on in our community. And I got to say, Papa John's did a big fundraiser for the Humphrey family, and I loved it. Every time I drove by, it was just packed. And I just hope that they, of course, $1 every pizza sold went to the Humphrey family, and I think that it was just wonderful. And I love our community, the way we give.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So very good. And Dennis, we appreciate all that you do over at East Washington School Corporation, and have you coming in is just above and beyond. And your communication and what you do, I'm going to brag on you. You do a great job, and we appreciate your friendship and all that you do, and how you are driven for the students, and how you're driven for the school corporation at Eastern. That says a lot for sure.
Got a great team.
You do have a great team. Yeah. And so I know you'll be anxious to get back and get going, but I do want to say that, business is still going on. You guys are still showing up. There's still, and
Teachers are in their classrooms.
yeah. So appreciate that. And Walmart, you guys getting over the East Washington, getting over there with the fall decorations and all that.
It's, yes.
Tis
All
the
of the
season.
above, 'tis the season. So they're doing a great job out in Lawn and Garden, getting all the new mums and all
mums
the
are
fall
beautiful.
plants and stuff like that, which I didn't realize. Which you know how I feel about my garden and everything. But all the bulbs for spring, so you have those spring flowers. You don't think about that stuff. I don't think about that stuff. But Lindsay and the team over there gets you taken care of. But Halloween candy's coming in. We've already got all kinds of costumes and decorations for fall, for Halloween. And of course, football season's on us, so anything for your Sunday viewing party with your
Pumpkin
family and
rolls.
stuff like that. The pumpkin rolls, oh my gosh,
They
are amazing.
Dennis, have you ever had one?
Yes.
They're just, and once you start,
You can't stop.
no, you can't. You can't.
I may
And
not
then
make it back to the office for a while.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's what you have to do, and we talk about this all the time.
Right,
You slice the pumpkin roll, you put vanilla ice cream and then caramel and chocolate sauce on top, and make your own little sundae out of the pumpkin roll. Just amazing.
You're killing me, Brad.
Dennis, we really are experts on food too. Okay.
And it's even better if you put the slice of pumpkin roll in the microwave for 7 seconds, a little bit of warmth, then put the ice cream on there, you're set to go. So,
Watch me.
Sorry. Anyway.
I go in convulsions. I'm shaking over here. And then they have their caramel apples too. And
caramel apples are in, but everything. We got Halloween coming up. We've got football season's kicked off. We've got anything fall that you would want. And come in and
yes.
What?
I'm seeing some Christmas stuff.
There is some Christmas stuff. So start coming in because, one thing the pandemic did is most of this, we don't have empty shelves, so we have plenty of stuff, but it's not at the volumes as what you're used to. So we're not getting multiple shipments.
You see
of stuff.
it, you might want to get it.
So you might want to go ahead and get it. And if you're like me, you want to do the candy and slow. You don't want to have to buy it all at once. So anyway, so come do that. But our events coming up the day after Thanksgiving, and again this year, I'm very proud of the fact that we are closed on Thanksgiving, so our associates can spend their holiday with their family. So I'm very proud of that. And then we're going to have a lot of great new stuff for the event the day after Thanksgiving. So it doesn't seem like it, but we're halfway through September. So,
Isn't that crazy?
it just seems like, so once Halloween hits, it goes fast. The dominoes start going fast. So.
And I did hear a lady, and I don't know if she actually had listened to us on the radio, because she said that she was buying 4 ornaments, but she said she was each week going to try to buy a little bit, because if you're especially like wanting to change your decorations, or if you are, got a new home or something, you want a new decorations or new tree, you can do it little by little. And it's not all at once. And I don't know if she heard us saying that or not, but I thought, yeah, that's exactly right. So it's not all at once.
Yeah, you can have awesome stuff on a budget. You can do it slowly, and
we're all on budget.
I know. Some of us sadly got a tighter budget than others, and some don't, but that's okay.
And
but I try to. Yeah. That's one thing with I try to talk to Grayson about is when you want something and this is what you
have goals.
You have to have the goals, but you don't have to do it all at once. Yeah. You can put the pieces of the puzzle together at a time as you earn money for stuff, things like that. So
you had Disney socks. You had these 10-pack Disney socks, and they were the cutest Disney socks for $3 clearance down. I missed them, but one of my daughters got them, and she had to show. I said, "Oh, did you get any more?" Nope. She said.
So anybody that joins us when Becky's kind enough to come over and we do coffee club from the store for different things that we do over there. Dennis, she makes a beeline to the ladies department for the clothes and stuff. So, but then when it comes to the guys, we kind of get left out. That's just kind of the way it is, sadly. But now I do have to say that we've added so many more brands with the Beverly Hills Polo Club and Reebok, and we've got some great, and we've expanded some of the our brands. We've expanded. We've got different selections, and they've got some really cool flannel shirts. They got some really cool button-up.
What about the Disney socks for men? That's where I'm kind of.
That's
where you were going.
That's where I was going with that.
Good.
So
I know. Now the rest of the story.
I'm just going through but we have hit it out of the park with our men's socks, Disney, Marvel, everything. Just patterns, all kinds of cool socks. We have doubled our selection of those. So Mike King, the store manager, Becky is, and most people know that he has a different pair of cool wild socks every day.
Yeah.
And so we've completely, so us guys are not getting left behind now with the cool socks. So I'm happy about
stepping up your game.
We are.
Well, and I do love that. There's nothing more, than, yes, I agree, 100%. And the Disney socks are gone, Dennis. The ones that the clearance ones, because I think my daughter made sure of that.
Yes, they were making room for more.
More, I know, yeah.
But they're well worth it if you're not on clearance.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. And you're going to get a better deal by doing this. Absolutely, 110%. Yeah, and they are. Yeah, I was going to say they just were going other patterns or other. Yeah, so this was the, which I love that. And when Salem, I promise you, I do know when Salem Walmart knocks things down, they mark it down to get out of it, get it out of here. You know what I mean?
Well,
dollar jeans, dollar pants, dollar. I mean
that's one thing that I think that, again, it's Mike King. He is just an amazing store manager, an amazing person, is that we could send stuff back to the clearinghouse, but he would rather mark it down and let our members of the community have that and save them money. And
we love that.
That's, I truly believe that's what makes, another thing that makes Salem successful. I'm partial, I get it, but that's very important.
Well, Bradley, keep up the great work. Yeah, keep those rollback prices. Keep those bargains. Yes. I always put those seeds in there.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yes. And Dennis, thank you for coming in, and please keep us whatever else we can report. We appreciate the relationship that East Washington School Corporation has with WSLM. We appreciate all that. We got a great working relationship and all that you do, and we appreciate that, and keep up the great work, and shout out to everybody involved in the whole corporation. I don't want to leave anyone out because it takes a whole team. It takes a village for sure. So Thank you so much. Bradley, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
All right, we've got Walmart, Meadowview, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Kentucky Anna Catco Recycling, Dr. Black's, Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gowns, and Celebrity Home Loans. Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful and a terrific Wednesday. Thank you.